Yeah, I mean, they're good. They're really, really so much to get in between.
That's why once a month.
That's my.
and every 2 weeks,
It's not a matter of.
you never get it done. You know what I mean? There's no difference to spend 3-4 days preparing.
All of our resources.
And I'll have it on the show and do it.
It's always the cost benefit formula.
We
right?
might talk for
It's a
finance
risk analysis.
She, we need to.
Just trying to scare me or what?
We don't want to.
Right-
to meet.
Right on the nose.
Right on the nose. I hate that.
There you go. We said we say, well, decide.
Second quarter, third quarter, next year.
The morning just got rid of me. I had like
Probably.
face full of shoes on my back.
Right.
But I'm here. Can we get the pen out?
Because that's what, that we kind of
Like
talked
being a
about, we're trying to now for the.
There was also treasurer,
Mhm.
chair.
My daughter.
Yeah, that's figured. You know, what's the deal? Get rid of the
It's marvelous. Mom, no, it's mom.
And I just came. Lovely. How are you?
So, you know, you never had any chicken poison.
Like, you're probably need to ask them.
Don't forget, we have Mary.
And Cheryl, right? Is Cheryl still away? For the disaster thing?
Yeah, she said this should be the last one.
Okay.
Well, dictionaries, encyclopedia.
Hello, everyone. I love.
My mother had still had.
Yeah,
it.
that'd be,
I like to do that, but. Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to thank you all. Sorry, I'm a little bit late here, but welcome everyone to the October 9th, 2023 Children's Trust of Alachua County board meeting. The clerk, I've been told that we have 2 members that are online, and we will have our roll call by the clerk and
Member Andrew?
Present.
Member Warner? Present. Member Cornell?
Here.
Member Clark? Member Ferrero?
here.
Member Dickinson?
Here.
Member Chance? Here. And member Twombly?
Here. All right.
So, Madam Chair, I know member Kwame is still out for her.
Disaster relief.
Disaster concert, and member Chance. Out for
Yes, medical.
Okay, yeah, so I will move that both member Chance and member Kwame be able to participate and vote to the extent.
So moved.
So motion by member Cornell to have our 2 members that are remote, Twombly and Chance, participate in our meeting due to extenuating circumstances. Second by member Superintendent Andrew. Any discussion? Citizen input? Okay, seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. So I'm gonna, y'all let me know, Ashley, if they're behind, since you guys are behind me, I'm not ignoring you, it's just my back is to you, okay? So you could say hello or staff, so y'all let me know. And if I could get our AV guys to help me not echo. So.
Madam Chair, if there are no revisions to the agenda, I would move approval of the agenda as well as the consent agenda.
Second.
All right, we got a motion to approve our agenda as presented, as well as the consent agenda, second by member Cornell. Did anyone online, did you all have anything on the consent agenda you wanted to pull, or are you good with the motion?
I'm good with the motion.
Okay, I saw member Twombly's hand. Anyone here around the table? All is good. Okay, is there any discussion or public input? Let's see, none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. All right. All right, so we have our general public comments now. And as is customary here, we have our general public input at the beginning of our meeting. If there's a citizen who'd like to address the board, you can come to the podium. You'll have 3 minutes to address us if you give us your name. And this is a time to speak to the board for items that are not on the agenda. All right, I don't see anyone for general public input, so I'm going to proceed forward. With our agenda. So as part of our agenda, the chair's report, I don't really have a report, but I do want to apologize to the staff for not getting the evaluation done on Friday beforehand. I got a good excuse though, good reason. I was in DC when it first came out, and then last week I was hosting our state association meeting here, so I was just kind of like on the go from Tuesday evening's board meeting after that until Friday late. And so I didn't get it done before, so we could have this material before the meeting, today's meeting. So if everyone, not sure how we wanted on that, because I didn't get a chance to read everybody. Did I get a chance to read this?
That they came in a little before you did, Madam Chair, that's all. That's what he means by yes.
I hate feeling.
You didn't have to.
I hate feeling unprepared. You know, he's sitting over there all smirky, like, yeah, I did it all right. So. But I don't have a chair's report. There's some things that I had concerns about in my agenda that we're starting to address it this here in today's meeting. And also that is my chair's report. I hopefully my thing will be a little bit less stressful the next couple of months. Yes, member.
Okay, thank you, Madam Chair. So really happy with we're talking about the evaluation of the executive director. So really happy. Marcia, feels very blessed to have you here back home. Was able to read a number of the comments and I think that they're, it's a very good evaluation. So what we do at the county and is, we have a contract. We typically have the manager receive the same raise as the employees. And then periodically every 2 to 3 years, we kind of maybe adjust the contract. I very much think it would be appropriate for you to receive the same raise as the employees. I would though think that it would also be appropriate if my colleagues agree with me that we add a week to your vacation time as compensation for a great review, and those are my feelings. So that would be where I am.
So could you tell us how much vacation time you get now?
So the contract currently has 3 weeks.
I am for staying with the current vacation where we are, since it's just 1 year before we go up to that being 4 weeks. And that's just my view. I'm okay with the raise part, but I think the vacation time, on a normal job, like with the county, I don't know how your executive officers do, but like with the staff, I think it's after 5 years, the leave goes up. I think 1 to 5 or 1 to 4 years, and then you get another month in the 5 year. I'm not saying we wait 5 years, but I do think it's just 1 year is a bit jump. That's just my view.
I'll respond, but I want to have one second.
Yeah, me too. I haven't made my comments on this because I'm gonna try to review everybody's comments.
I would support Ken's position on that. I don't think for an executive 4 weeks is an unusual. I would support that.
And how many have you taken this year?
But that's kind of the problem. It's never been working.
Well, the vision doesn't really count because this was the first year and not knowing exactly when I could take off. And then Christy and I both said, we just have to take time off. I will say, and Maggie knows this just from where I came from. I've been there a long time. I had a lot of leave. I left a lot of that on the table. So I wasn't so much concerned about money, but I thank you for the offer, even if it doesn't pass.
Okay. So the motion, or what you put out there was to match what the rest of the staff got and an extra week.
Yeah, I would tell you that in my interaction this last year with the executive director has been, whether she's been on vacation or not, it has been an almost immediate response. And I think it's really important to schedule that time and to try to take it, to literally try to take it. And I feel like for the job that you're asking her to do, and the team that she had built. I mean, to see the recognition of the team and her evaluation was really nice. I know that you defer to your team, so I think it's appropriate. And I would encourage her to take it. I don't think she takes the time that she needs, and I think we all need time. It's a stressful job. It's a political job. It's a non-political job, and it's a lot. So,
I would support that as well for her well-being and health. And again, like you said, thank you, Ms. Kiner. Thank you to our CTAC team. As we evaluated Ms. Kiner, we knew that it was the leadership and the teamwork and the support. When we brought her on, you all supported her. Like your support, well, you know, like you're supposed to support a new leader, and you've worked through everything with her and alongside her and through it with her. And so, you know, thank you to our team, and again, thank you to you, Ms. Kiner.
okay, so I would make that motion that we give the same raise, add a week to the time off, and thank you for your services for the first year. Look forward to another great year.
I'll second that motion.
All right. Member Cornell, would you break the two up? Because I'm not opposed to the,
You can break it up.
okay, we vote on the pay increase and the leave separately.
Yeah.
And I'm fine with that.
All right, so we have the first motion on the floor would be to receive the executive director's evaluation as presented by my colleagues, and the pay increase would be for her would be the same as what the staff has received. So we'll vote on the motion in two parts. It's been motioned by member Cornell, second by member Labarda. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? I'm sorry. So member Chance and Twombly, I'm going to give you a space now. If you have something to say, please forgive me for going forward with the vote without that.
That's okay. I was voting in the affirmative on that action.
But did you have any comments or anything you want to add on, either of you, on the evaluation? I'm sorry, I didn't turn around.
No, I concur with everyone's comments.
Okay, Cheryl?
And I had nothing negative to say. I know when Marcia joined, we were in the infancy of the strategic planning, and I can't thank her enough for jumping in and joining our strategic planning team, our steering committee, getting that done. So pleased with everything you've accomplished over this year, Marcia.
Thank you. All right, the second part of our motion is the awarding of the additional week of vacation or PTO. I'm not sure how it's called here.
Which would be an addendum to the contract signed by the chair.
Okay. There's motion by member Cornell and second by Dr. Labardia. Any discussion? We've had that. And I didn't ask for public input. Any public input? Any phone calls? My two numbers online.
I'm curious. I just don't know the system now. Is it PTO? Is it based on seniority? Is it different for executive director versus staff? I'm unclear about the current system.
So currently, member Chance, the contract she receives 3 weeks of vacation time. It's just one balance, right? It's not sick and vacation, so it's like PTO. I'm sorry, I see some head shaking.
It's, yeah, Danielle, our HR consultant.
Thank you.
I don't see that, so I don't have that much rotation. I'm gonna go to the other side. Danielle?
I appreciate that. I didn't want to jump in too soon. Hi, Danielle Towery, the HR consultant. And yes, so there is vacation and sick time separately for the trust employees. I'm honestly, I don't know off the top of my head, and it's not in front of me what the contract for Marcia reads as far as separating those two, but as far as the rest of the staff, it is separate.
Yeah, I think the sick leave is the same as the staff, but vacations is separate.
Okay.
I have a question as a contract.
Judge Barnes.
My name check. Maybe this is the HR consultant. Is it not true that this is Judge for Ohio, you can see me, but is it not true that we could contract with, this is a contract employee, so we can contract for whatever benefits with her, is that correct?
Correct. It's a separate contract.
The contract provides for annual leave. It doesn't mention sick leave, so she gets a sick leave based upon like any other
Everybody
employee
else.
does.
Right.
And then she started with 3 weeks annual leave and then accrues based upon her seniority. She had a bank of 3 weeks
Right,
to start with.
okay. Member Chance, if you have any other questions, does that answer your question?
No, I think I'm clear, but thank you.
Cheryl, do you have anything? All right,
Just one other question on leave. Is it, are there any caps on it? For vacation and or sick,
You mean in terms of carryover?
as far as rollover, total hours that can.
Yes, there is.
accumulate?
I can't tell you off the top of my head. I'm sure Danielle can.
Okay.
It's, there's not a cap on the accrual, but there is a cap that you can only carry over 280 hours.
I said 240.
Carry, I'm sorry, Danielle, carry over 280 hours for
that's the
vacation time, or
yes.
is that, and so is sick time, use it or lose it, and vacation time you can carry over?
Correct.
Oh, that's right.
That's carryover. That's not what you actually, it's, you can carry it over, but you don't, when it comes time for,
To leave.
God, this is probably when you retire or quit or
Separate.
whatever, you don't get that whole 280 hours, do you?
To separate.
If I remember correctly.
So I thought sick time, there was no limit. For, because our benefits, I thought, were based on like the counties, and the sick time, there was an unlimited amount that you carried year to year.
Right, but you didn't get paid.
No, that's not what the question is. The
Okay.
question was how much the cap the carrier, that was the question. The question was, correct, the question was how much you carry forward, and I think the max, and the way it was with the county on your anniversary day, you had to have that amount or more. So if it's if Bob says 280
Mhm.
on your anniversary.
According to the contract that says upon separation from employee as director, the director shall be entitled to be paid for accrued leave at the director's rate of pay on the effective day. So it doesn't have doesn't say there's. If you look on page 5 of the contract, it's
Yeah.
section A, 7.
Normal employee, I think mine is a little bit different, but
No, I know, but the question was there a cap on the vacation? That was what, if I correct? Remember, so Superintendent Andrew, wasn't that your question?
If there was a cap on vacation and sick, see, look at them as two separate
Separate,
entities.
yeah. apparently not. I mean, Bob, you're our attorney.
I'm,
The CPAC policy. On that, I don't remember.
Well, but the CTEC policy, she has a separate contract, so it's whatever her
What's that?
contract says.
Yes, but the contract says on CTAC leave policy and the document CTAC policy.
Oh, okay, yep.
So, Bob, do you know what the policy is?
I'm looking for it.
Thank you.
Ashley, did you hold your hand up?
So policy is, they 280 over vacation every year. Not to exceed 280, and then you can, if you want to get paid out on the leave component, you can only give like 25% paid out of your sick leave. If you have $1,000.
What about?
Or up to that.
The maximum that you get paid, I think, is it for the.
That's for sick
vacation,
leave. Yeah,
You just said the vacation.
right, but she said 1,000, it's 25% of sick leave, so
If it's
what we're
1,000.
asking about those vacation
280 is what,
max, that's pretty standard,
yeah,
actually.
that's what I was.
Good to know. And I say that from Ms. Kiner's knowledge just as well.
Look,
as
'cause I don't
ours. Right, that it's, as an employee, I always like to know what the options are.
Right. Yeah, because that was part of my negotiation with Maggie. I lost a lot of time coming here from the other organization because it just wasn't didn't think about it. And then this happened quickly and I couldn't take 6 months off.
So what I heard Member Cornell and others encouraging you to do is if you start to approach 280, take some
Right, take some
vacation.
time off.
Yes.
Yeah, I know a lot of organizations are capping because it's a liability that we.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You have to put on the balance sheet.
it's on your
Yep.
balance sheet.
So we capped out at 484 at my organization.
Standard.
484.
484, because there was no cap prior.
Thank you.
I just updated our employee manual. We're on a PTO system with our organization, so it's all together with holidays, legal holidays outside of that. And we capped it at 120, which may be low, but just because we use that for all staff and know what we owe at the end of the fiscal year, what our liability is.
Yep. Lot of agencies are going to that for the accounting treatment. And I had that discussion when I first became a board member, was looking at the state. That was good. What was your question?
What was my question?
I thought you had a question.
I know.
Good. You think everybody else good? All right. All in favor of the motion on the floor of increasing Ms. Kiner's vacation from 3 weeks to 4 weeks, an additional week? Vote aye.
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 And I oppose. All right. Thank you. All right, so we are done with the, I call for citizen input on it.
You did.
All right, good, all right.
I think we all do have to say, I want to say just one last thing to Marcia, having chaired the search committee and felt like I could have had 3 different outcomes. One where I would just crawl out of here and never show my face again. Another where I could just kind of go, and another where I would say yippee. I have to say I'm in the yippee camp. I think Marcia's done an outstanding job. Just before I gave up the chair to our esteemed Ms. Certain, I had a lot of interaction with Marcia, and even since then, and I just want to echo that it's not just responsiveness, but it's she reaches out and she goes above and beyond. And so I just want to say thank you very much for not making me look bad and for really doing a fabulous job directing the trust.
Thank you.
Good job.
Can I have one more thing? And this is really for member Labarda, because you navigated that last year. Didn't ask for it. It was tough. Christie and staff navigated it last year. Didn't ask for it. It was tough. So thank you.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Marcia. All right, so we move forward. We have now a presentation with Mr. Jack Levine. This has been kind of rescheduled and rescheduled, right, a couple times. So we're glad to have you here with us. Oh.
After that.
Wait, I'm sorry, Mr. Levine. Can I get you to wait just a second?
I'll be very brief.
No, my bad here.
Really just
I
wanted
can't read
to.
it lately. I'm like going down like, not that I'm
ED
trying.
and ED.
Yeah, I'm trying to like get going, I guess.
Okay, I just really wanted to say thank you to the staff. We completed trim, my first trim. It was stressful. Thank you, Diana. Thank you, Nicole. They owned it, took care of it, would come in and tell me what we had to do when we needed to do it. They were just awesome. And so I wanted to publicly at this meeting say thank you to the finance staff for getting us through trim. And then secondly, we held our staff retreat on not last Friday. Yeah, last Thursday. Thursday.
Yeah, the 28th.
The 28th, thank you. Sometime or another, everything's run together.
Everything.
It was our first. It was a wonderful opportunity for us to get outside of these walls and really start to get to know one another as people. And so I just wanted to highlight our first activity. Everybody sent in baby pictures and you had to guess who each child was. And then everybody got to say something to their younger self. And it was moving and inspiring. And I already knew I worked with really great people, but I now know a little bit more about everybody on our team. And we're going to be doing this quarterly as we start to build upon the culture that we want to have as a staff of the trust. So I wanted to say thank you to the team for being open and engaging during our staff retreat. And I wanted our board to know that we are actively working to be better. So that's it, Madam Chair.
So I bet everybody got Dion's picture, huh? Guess who it was, something. They did? So I was thinking since you're. I thought yours would be easy to pick out because you have a blue outfit, you know, little suspenders or something.
Yeah.
Who's in the mail?
We have Thomas, who's our temp working with
Oh,
us,
okay,
but we
okay.
brought him with
Okay,
us
that was
and
good.
yeah, maybe we'll bring him upstairs and let him introduce him to you all.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought she'd be everybody would have got the prize for guessing.
We all knew Bonnie.
Oh.
So Chrissy, how'd you handle that?
There's this look that I even as a child.
I was about to say, yeah. I see that.
I would say Dion must have had long hair back then.
A lot had hair, not long hair, had hair, huh?
Yeah. So thank you, Madam Chair.
Good to hear that. Thank
I
you.
did have one on the ED report. Can you
Yes.
give us a quick update on the SAMUS implementation? I mean, I read what you did.
So actually, I have to have Bonnie give you the implementation. We have had several testing with after school providers. Have we done the testing with the enrichment, or we're doing the training with the enrichment this week?
After school providers are live in students. We're going live with enrichment providers next Thursday, and we're adding all other providers on the night.
Great work.
So
I know it's been.
big,
Those are never easy. So
Well done.
congratulations.
Yeah, so SAMUS is everything, the whole ERP, like, we'll be doing our RFP responses and all of that, and then there'll be the finance portion of the reimbursement process will be done through SAMUS, and then all of our GL and AP, all of that is through SAMUS, so we come out of the counties.
No,
Oh.
no, it's still a new world.
Okay, I was getting all.
You were getting all excited.
I
weren't you?
was too fast. No, we don't have to do something with
We are
DRL
gonna
because
have
they're
to.
sunsetting that or
Right.
changing their transition into
But
something
they
else.
said we have until 2025, which isn't that long.
Oh, I thought it was 24. Okay.
2025, I believe is what they told us. Yeah.
It'll be here before you know it.
Well,
But, right.
24, 23 is almost done. Yeah. Okay. Anything else, Member Clinton?
No, that's it. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Lee.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate this invitation. I'm a big fan. I did drive all of 128 miles to be with you today from Little Old Tallahassee. But I will tell you that there is so much to be done, but so much to celebrate. Chair Certain, I like that name. It really means without doubt. And I also want to pay homage to my good friend Mary Chance, your newest member of the board. Taking a chance on Mary is very, very smart. It's a good bet. Her work with the Consortium for Education Foundations in the philanthropic realm is very, very valued. So I'll credit the governor for that good appointment. I want to take you back 75 years briefly to tell you that Florida has uniquely positioned itself through the voters to create this great legacy of investments in children's care and in prevention. I think you know the history. I'll remind you very quickly. In 1947, right after World War II ended, the voters of Pinellas County, at the urging of a judge, created the Juvenile Welfare Board of Pinellas County. It took 40 years for the legislature to get connected and figure out that it doesn't have to be a local bill, it could be a general bill. And under the leadership of Senate President Harry Johnston, that's when Palm Beach County went to ballot. Since that, there have been 11 now total voter-approved taxing districts for children. The three most recent are you all, the Alachua Trust, where I live, Leon County, and our western neighbor, Escambia County. So you know the 11 counties that have taken action to invest in children in this way now sums to 70% of the Florida population.
That's great.
If you add Miami-Dade, Broward, Palm Beach, Martin, St. Lucie, Hillsborough, and Pinellas, and then go to the northern tier that I just mentioned, Escambia, Leon, and here in Alachua. That's 70% of the Florida population. I recall my first meeting with the two Dorothys, Dorothy Benson and Dorothy Thomas. I think they invented spunk. And I think they invented how to get people to say yes. I don't think either one of them has the word no in their personal directory. What created here in Pinellas, in Alachua County is very, very valuable because as you know, and as you are dedicated to, we're talking about investments. And now I'm proud to tell you, as you are aware, the creation of the Florida Association of Children's Councils and Trusts, which has great leadership in my friend Michelle Watson. And what has created through this organization is a bridge between your work and public policy. Because as we know, public policy is essential for good laws and good budgets and good accountability. So here again, I want to credit you for being a quick member of FACT, as we call it, and the work goes on from here. Now, because you are known as a university town, there are some wonderful resources that I know you've already gained access to help. And Christy, you have briefed me on the work that you're doing with the Anita Zucker Center, as well as with our friends at the Lastinger Center. There are two others that I'm not sure you have a relationship with that I do. And I want to very strongly recommend a conversation if that's not in the agenda. One is the Samuel Proctor Oral History Program. It's known nationally for bringing people together and telling their story. You know, most people respond better to stories than they do to numbers. It's no accident that the word number begins N-U-M-B. We are often numb to numbers. But hearing the voices of ancestors, the voices of people who have been through both tribulation as well as trial, as well as investments, could be a wonderful, wonderful method of bringing all of the generations together in your great community. So I very strongly, if you haven't approached them yet, their permanent executive director is on leave for the next sabbatical leave, but Matt Jacobs is the person who is heading them up now. And I want to urge you to think about ways that those who are serving children one-on-one will tell their story, especially retirees. Maggie, I'm looking your way. Especially retirees. I also want to very strongly recommend some time with the Bob Graham Center for Public Service. What I have learned in my 42 years of advocacy in Florida is it takes a certain degree of understanding of what the voters can do and will do in a positive way. Not all the things that voters act on we agree with. Some of our candidates sometimes lose, but the reality is that civic service is something we should be very proud of. Mr. Superintendent, you understand what I'm talking about. The idea that we are giving of our time and ourselves to improving our community. In some regards, that's kind of getting lost in the current turmoil. And I think we need to recognize that civic service is the backbone of our great democracy. Month after month, year after year, decade after decade, we've done some fabulous things through civic service. And I very strongly like you to pay attention to that great resource. So those who know me know that I'm a retired English teacher. My father was an immigrant. My father was blind half of his life. He was 60 when I was born, which just proves that not all bodily functions require good vision. And I spent a lot of my boyhood time reading to my father. I think we have to recognize that people who preceded us in our own families and in our own communities have a lot to teach us. It took me almost 40 years to figure out that my father's blindness and his age were actually gifts to me. I became someone who enjoyed reading. It wasn't a task. I became someone who enjoyed the opportunity to learn from others. We have to engage our citizens in the lives of our children. You know that, I know that, but unfortunately, there is this huge barrier. We have grown Florida with walls and gates. We have to find ways of engaging, of telling the story, the history and the herstory of the very ways that we can improve our lives by learning from our victories and also learning from our mistakes. I would love the opportunity to expand on that and work with the resources you already have within the University of Florida, Santa Fe, and other places of higher education. So I'll just take a moment to give you 6 new definitions. You know all of these words. Advocacy, the middle syllable defines the word voca, the voice, to identify a problem and explore remedies through strategic actions that affect positive change in policy, program, and practice. Let's teach advocacy. Prevention, the act of stopping something harmful before it happens. An ounce of prevention not only avoids a pound of cure, but as far outweighs a ton of pain and punishment. The power of prevention. Justice is a concern for fairness and genuine respect, regardless of our various differences. Maintaining a sense of fair play and equal opportunity for individual success. Civility, exhibiting politeness and courtesy in behavior, speech, and attitude, even at times of disagreement. Generosity, providing support by addressing need through significant personal acts to benefit a cause or ameliorate a condition with positive action. Gratitude, the quality of being thankful, expressed in word and deed, to show appreciation for acts of kindness with reciprocal action. My friends, we have to teach these concepts to our children. There's a lot of negativity out there. There's a lot of words and deeds that our children are following that are not positive. Every way, any way that you can bring our community together instead of traveling the road of negativity, travel the road of being positive. And I'd be thrilled to help expand on those. Now that I'm a grandfather of 2 delightful little girls, pictures if you insist, I have learned the lesson of selflessness. I have learned how important it is to teach and train, to not expect that we are in the center of the universe as adults. We are actually purveyors of a brighter future. This Children's Trust is one action. Your millage allows that to happen. I think my numbers are right. For a $200,000 property, it's about $100 a year. Wow, what a great investment in the future of your community and our collective futures. Thank you for your words, thank you for your deeds, and thank you for this time. I look forward to speaking with you again. Thank you.
Hold on, Mr. Levine.
By
Thank
the
you.
way, this is a beautiful annual report. Can't wait to see next year.
Well, thank you for making the trip down from Tallahassee to speak with us. Briefly, but very powerfully and impactfully. I don't read every newsletter that you send, but I really do try to get to scan and pick up something positive from them. And like you, I wasn't impacted by my parent, but my grandmother's was a huge impact on me. And some of those words that you taught me and some concepts I'll tell you, she's always told me I have a love of learning because she did not get to go to school from rural Georgia, area of very high poverty, born in 1921. Wow. But she instilled a love of learning. And like you, I read to her. But she used to always tell me is learn all you can because you own what you know. You can lose everything that you have, but you own what you know. Another concept she always taught me was to work hard and do things right. There's never a right way to do the wrong thing. There's never a right way to do the wrong thing. She always taught me about doing things the right way, even when it's inconvenient. So I appreciate you sharing that from your father, and the investment in our young people and in our community is another thing that I learned from her, because she always says if you have, even though you have little, you still have something else to share and to invest in other people, because even though you have little, there's someone else who has less. So, yes.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and your compliment on my writings is appreciated. Take a moment to hit that reply button.
I reply to a lot of emails. I'm sorry I haven't replied to yours.
Oh, but you know, I'm special.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Jack, thanks for being with us from the beginning. You saw the annual report this year with Marshall. We actually got our strategic plan
Done.
the first draft done, and it will continue to evolve. And,
Wonderful.
your influences, you got your fingerprints on a lot of this work, so thank you. And so does Tina's grandmother, because I've served on this board and heard some of these stories, and to get those stories actually put into public policy is a pretty neat thing to watch our staff do. So thank you. Thanks for coming down.
Thank you. And do visit us in Tallahassee. We don't bark, we don't bite.
We helped y'all get the Children's Trust. We know.
Yes, you did.
So I spoke to a lot of your elected officials.
And you took Christy away from us, but that's okay.
She's a permanent resident.
Thank you so
Actually, we
much.
didn't take her from y'all, right? You came from Swag. Yeah, so don't blame us.
Oh.
Like Swag.
Blame the Dorothy's.
Blame the Dorothy. Don't blame us.
You can blame that on.
Yeah, and my good friend Bill's here. I am speaking for Rotary Lunch tomorrow. And we might have a couple of open seats if you'd like. It's going to be a different story tomorrow
Okay, good.
at noon. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Lee. Excuse me. All right, we are informational item 15.
Just to keep you all in the loop on the building purchase, we do now have a signed contract. We are in our 30 days of due diligence. We have inspections, a survey, an appraisal, environmental. I keep calling it an environmental scam, but it's an environmental phase 1. That all of those things are taking place. So we will continue. Hopefully, nothing major will be found. There is some potential for the possibility of some roof work that will need to be done. So we will keep you posted.
Okay, good. And then the next item, anyone have any questions or anything for?
What were the difference between 2 copies?
We signed, our folks signed one and then they signed another, and without
Okay,
us merging them. We just thought we would give you both
okay.
copies. That's it. It's the same document, just with the various signatures. Tina was out of town.
I responded very quickly.
She responded like that.
Because I was not gonna be the delay.
Yes, and we thank you, Madam Chair. It is not her fault.
No, thank you. Because
It is not.
I told my group, I'm like, I might have to run back to the hotel if I can't get any signal in this building here. To sign that, I may have to catch an Uber back to the hotel to get this done, because I did not want into business to come with me being the holdup.
So that's it.
And I want to thank Bob. Bob, worked
Yeah.
on this late
Yeah.
Friday night. I signed my piece at 10:37. Yeah, and Bob,
Yes.
thank you for your
Yeah.
weekend work on this.
That's right. Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Bob, for all of your good counsel. He has made sure that we were covered and taking care of all of those issues that we may have missed.
Thank you, Bob. Had to go with that with a fine tooth comb. That I didn't feel too bad since we were using our contract and not theirs. I got
Courtesy
history.
of Bob.
I thank you, Bob. I got history. Since you burned me once, it's hard to forget. Uh-huh.
That's right.
Yeah, yeah. So the trust benefited from that. I'm standing on. Right. Anyone else have any questions or anything? Any public input? My colleagues online? Answering your phone calls? All right. We'll go to the CTAC funding timeline and implementation plan.
Also, for your informational purposes, we included within the packet timeline and implementation plan for the strategic plan that the board has approved. So this is just to give you an idea of what we're working on, timeline for initiating the process for different funding opportunities, as well as initiatives for maternal child health, the sports scholarships. So all those different projects that were included in the strategic plan. This is just to give you an idea of the steps that we're taking, as well as a timeline for when we'll introduce those to the community or work on those. Lots of renewals for 6-month contracts, our full year contracts, and then looking forward to our new initiatives that we're going to be introducing here soon to the county.
Madam Chair.
Yes.
So just, I had a quick question. I know we set aside some money for kind of innovation, pilot project kinds of things, and I didn't see where that fits in. Is there a particular one of these categories that you see that in? I think that's a real opportunity for some of our providers who are doing work that perhaps doesn't yet have a full body of evidence to support it, to
Sure.
bring ideas forward.
So Maggie, if you flip over to, I think it's page 134, the last page of the implementation plan, we kind of put all of that under the youth development capacity building collaborative January through May, and that's, you're talking about the provider trainings and the mini grants.
Okay,
That's where that would be.
all right, thank you.
I'm sure. Go ahead.
Yes.
About the summer programming, the renewals is all we're doing this year.
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you go.
Sorry, we didn't see him.
I thought there was a lot of emphasis on that.
I feel good. I feel that too. Yes. Don't start nothing
Or
else.
as a-
Okay, so it will be in the fall, you release it for the next summer.
The next cycle.
Okay, so this is it for the summer program.
That is
Okay.
correct. So our
Okay.
currently funded summer camps are funded for this last summer. And then we will release new funding opportunities for summer camp.
And
For
remember,
24. Like, let's give
No,
Summer upcoming. So our new fiscal year, summer 24 is the last summer
Okay,
contract.
that's what I understood.
Yes,
and that was because it was on a 3-year cycle.
that is correct.
Okay, all right, and see the after school.
The after school is our newer contract that was recently released and awarded for funding. So starting October 1, their new contracts have been executed or just about executed. And that funding is for 3 years.
Okay. So is there a difference between summer camp and the summer program renewals?
The difference is, again, those current ones that have 3-year funding, and then the renewals. So you have your renewals that are happening for this fiscal year summer, for summer 24, and then the RFP release will be for the start of the new fiscal year 25.
Okay, so summer camps and summer programming is the same.
We have some programs that fall under summer programming. So for an example, Freedom School, it is a summer camp, but it was funded completely different outside of our summer camp RFP. So we just put that under summer programming. We also will sometimes leave Teams Work Alachua under summer programming. It's not a camp. They are programs that just happen during the summer.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Did you have something? Anyone else? Any public input? Anyone from the public who wish to speak?
So do we need to just accept this?
It is just information.
Information, so yeah, there's nothing, no action.
Hello, my name is Margaret DeCona. I'm the Executive Director at Food for Kids Backpack Program. I know I have a question from the peanut gallery, which is the timeline document where things are highlighted green. Is that the timing of the funding or the timing of the implementation of the program?
So it's a combination of the two. I tried to be very specific with the wording here, where it says contract renewal, contract negotiation. Those are renewing current contracts either for 6 months or for a full fiscal year. If you look down under new funding opportunities, those are where the board has identified different initiatives that they're interested in funding. And those are the new funding opportunities that's closer to January, February, March. Yes.
I wanted to also mention, I've spoken before you at almost every meeting I've attended since January about food insecurity in our community. I don't really see a place for that on this plan outside of what you're redoing with a different organization from mine. But for you, I would like for you to know, I can't speak to what other organizations are doing to combat childhood food insecurity, but I can tell you that every week in this community, Food for Kids Backpack Program is sending out bags to 31 schools in Alachua County alone. That's reaching 708 children as of last week. And those numbers are still rising. We usually see our peak enrollment around the holidays. We expect to serve over 1,200 children through our program this year. And I'm a little bit disappointed to see that there's not really an opportunity for helping to continue to grow our program to meet all the food insecure children here in Alachua County. Thank you.
So, Madam Chair is looking at me for a response. There's a lot of feedback we did receive about food insecurities during our listening project. We spoke to a lot of families. We currently have a contract with Catholic Charities for their weekend backpack hunger program. And a lot of discussion within our steering committee, the individuals that served on that committee, and where it would fall. We are leaning heavily on the programs that currently exist. Our school district is also doing a lot of work in food insecurities, as well as our family resource centers to support that initiative. The steering committee did not include that within the strategic plan. However, we do have other funding opportunities that could potentially support. We have sponsorships, we have emergent needs, we potentially have mini grants that could support that. And I know that some of our staff serve on some of the committees that you also sit on, and they will definitely bring those funding opportunities to you so that we can, find a way to support, even though it's not in our strategic plan.
I would ask also that staff contact the county and the city and to see what they are doing under their community assisted partnership program. So I know we have some food.
Okay.
Some food initiatives in the county, and if the county can help CTAC leverage some money or get them, you know, get everybody talking, that'll be really helpful.
Madam Chair. I think a couple of thoughts about that. One is that it also could be one of those overlapping services. So if there's a particular program that's seeing a lot of children, particularly in the summer, for whom that's an issue and that need is not being met, they could certainly partner and include that in the funding budget. So some kind of a partnership to make sure that that can be included. And I think this is one of those things that for me speaks to the need when we get information about a need in the community to make sure that we've got all of the potential providers at the table before we put out an RFP for services, so that we may need to divvy up the money. We may need to decide we need to add more to that budget. But I think it's important as we assess needs and as we hear about needs to make sure that we've got all the potential providers at the table, not just whoever we know of already.
Yeah, I also want to say that I was really happy to hear we were in DC, and I would like to think that it was because of 300 school board members that were roaming around the Capitol for a week there, asking them to expand the CEP program, which we have a few schools in our county that don't eat all free or reduced. I think it's community eligibility program. So it's where that if there's a certain number of low-income students, I think it was like, if it was at 40%, is that correct, Superintendent Andrew? It's like 30 or 40%, but they've lowered the percentage now to be like 20 or 25. So like now, where if you have like 20-25% of the students that are directly can be direct certified, like as receiving like SNAP benefits or
Free and reduced lunch.
No, they would get free and reduced lunch without the application. The whole school would eat for free. And so we have, I think, about 8 or 10. School-wide, we have about 8 or 10 schools that aren't CEP right now, but I think with the lowering of that threshold, I think now we're probably going to be, our whole district now will be qualifying for that. And that's, they've actually, like, that was like announced that Monday after we left DC this past Monday, which I think is really going to be really, really good, because even at a couple of the schools, we have one middle school I know that they're not at CEP. So you have to do, you can still get free or reduced lunch, but you have to do the form. And there's students that weren't doing the form, and there's a church out in the particular area that's raising money to cover the lunch debt for them. And I don't understand, like.
So the school will cover their meals during the week.
Yeah.
And then
So that's
Mario's
the
talking about on
weekend,
the
right,
weekends.
right.
Any of that funding available for weekend food?
Miss Eunice, well, not Miss Eunice anymore, because she's not in that position, but I know they used to have some programs where they got food, like fresh vegetables and fruits and stuff like that. But I can ask her, reach out to them, and we can see, or connect Christy with them to see if there's any type of outside of school.
City, the county, the school board can all kind of be speaking about what are the reasons.
And working with your Catholic charities and
The various schools.
Madam Chair.
Yes.
There's also, we need to find out if the city and the county, if they have a seat on the Food Insecurity Committee that's currently active in our area. And so Demetrica and Mia serve on that committee. And so there's a lot of great information that comes to there. So we'll also make sure whoever at the county is invited to those meetings also.
I just know on our agenda tomorrow is $750,000 for food insecurity. And so I will ask about how will the kids do that.
Is there someone from the district on that committee? You all know, Demetrica? Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
Hi there, I'm Christy Arrington from Girls Place. Like Margot, a couple things stood out to me that felt like gaps with the implementation plan. Food insecurity was one of them for sure. Gun violence, you all talked specifically about supporting that in our community, not supporting it rather. And then mental health was the other big piece. And so intended or expected those things to be in this implementation plan as well.
So we are funding mental health, I think, and I actually read something about where is it I can see it like kitchens, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So
Sherry.
yeah.
To support mental health Those were, I think there are 3 of them, were going to be 6 months, and we did request within our strategic plan that we continue to fund them for. We are also serving on the Youth Mental Health Committee along with the county, the school district, as well as the system care for mental health with the school district. So we are participating in those, we're funding those projects, and continuing to look at how we can potentially expand, what funding opportunities do we need to release, but we are funding those also. And we did add or increase our safety goal to $1 million to support the initiatives throughout our county, to support, gun violence prevention programs as well.
On the mental health piece right now, there is more funding for mental health than there has been in decades. There just aren't enough providers to be hired. And I think that what everyone who has received additional funding, be it from the trust or from other sources, is finding is that the money's there, but there aren't qualified mental health professionals to hire nationally. The estimate is between 2 and 3 million short. So that's going to be a challenge across the board.
Trying to fill that vacuum, huh? It takes time.
Well, I think the providers figured out it wasn't a good investment. You to come out with more student loans that you could ever afford to pay. And so they haven't gone into the field as much as one needed. And now that there's funding for the services,
Takes time to fill that.
like I knew my retirement was well planned, right? Finally get the money and you can't hire anybody. It's
So I think you should go back and work.
no.
That's what I think that means. You can serve a few kids.
I don't know if I'm allowed to make another comment or not.
I will make an exception.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate your
Exceptions
work.
bite me though.
I will be brief, I promise. All I wanted to say is that I appreciate your comment, Dr. Labarda, about making sure everyone is at the table. I think with some of the renewals, what we're seeing is a continuation of funding that may or may not be the highest, best use of the trust funds. And again, I'm here only speaking for my organization, but we have no caps in our program. We don't limit the number of children that can be in our program from a particular school. And in fact, we took on 5 additional schools in Alachua County this year that were being underserved previously, that were given to us by another organization who does weekend backpack programs. So I do appreciate all the feedback from all of you and the ideas of additional funding avenues, and I will hunt every single one of those down. But I do hope you will take things like that into consideration when you're making renewals in the future, rather than opening funding up to other organizations that might have a broader reach. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Ooh. What county gets $750,000? Oh, man, the county, I want to compliment you guys. Your board, y'all have done really, really good work with your ARPA and your CARES Act, on top of, I was commending and commenting that you guys shared the school district. I think he was there when I asked for somebody. For the school district, when COVID first started.
I'm sorry, Madam Chair. We had a question for Commissioner Cornell. Can you tell us what the $750,000 is?
Food insecurity,
A little bit more on that?
I don't have the.
Your
agenda.
information in front.
Yeah, we just did the agenda. So
Okay, so we can,
it'll
and
be
it's
tomorrow.
tomorrow? Okay. What time is the meeting?
11:30.
Okay. Thank you.
Might want to take a cushion.
And bring some work.
I'm speaking at once.
Bring work.
Then is it gonna be a long agenda? I have, I try to keep up, like my luck was really, really good when CARES Act money first came out. And I say my luck is good, honestly, in the sense that, like, I turned on the TV, I had been talking with Member Cornell about how much money they had and how little the school district had gotten, and I turned on the Channel 12 and they were on talking about that item. Like, what are the chances of that happening? Like, right?
You died and went to heaven.
I did. I was like, oh, well, I'm just gonna call them and ask them for some money. And they agreed. Lee was on his way out, so he was agreeing to everything.
I was going.
You was going there?
Thank you.
Oh, oh, no. Oh, no, it was, the other guy who left.
Right.
Yes, he was on his way out. So everybody was agreeing to everything, you know, when you catch them the right way, they agree to everything. So. All right, so
You remember it though.
but no, it was good. Y'all were very open. The board was very open to the, yeah, they did. They had more than what we had. We only had $6.8 million, 6.4, something like that. I had 42 million, 52, what's 10? So they share. So I appreciate that. So the next item we have on our agenda is our employee audit policy updates.
Yeah.
Turn it over to.
So thank you, Madam.
I have a question then.
Okay.
So about a year, maybe a year and a half ago, we asked staff to look into a parental leave policy. And the county parental leave policy. Yeah, and the county just implemented one, wasn't cheap, but there's, you know, a lot of employees at the county. And I don't know if we had looked into that for this organization
I
or.
think Bob sent me something about it, but we have not. We have not reviewed it. What we did after meeting with Krisner, that's the attorneys, Danielle and I met with their principal, and he shared with us some things he thought we needed to act on. Danielle is our representative since Katie, if you all remember, Katie was who we had before. And we found that there were some recommendations that had come about in and Danielle, you'll correct me if I'm wrong, I believe in 22. So we thought we would go back and start with some of those 22 recommendations, bring them forward now, and then we'll bring you all.
So I saw the pregnancy and breastfeeding accommodations, I saw that, but this is, we could ask that staff also look into parental leave, quantify that, and maybe bring that. It's not in the motion, but it's in a previous motion, and so I will ask the staff just kind of revisit that too.
We can do that.
Thank you.
In the meantime, I'll move staff recommendation for the changes.
Yeah, the two of them before, yeah.
Sorry, I must have gone away for a minute.
No, yeah, you did, man. We're just trying to get going.
Yeah, for a children's trust, so I think we should at least look into that.
Could you share some info with Marcia to share what the county did?
Yeah.
I think Bob, I think Bob, you sent me something, so I think I may have it.
Okay.
When it passed, he at least I know he notified me that the county was planning to review something or look at something.
6. Male or female.
I just school district can't do that because we don't have that kind of money to do that. And then I think also we gotta be really, really sensitive because this is a taxpayer funded organization and initiative. And I think we have to be really, really careful with how we're extending benefits that cost money because.
So let me give the story I gave at the county then.
So give me the story.
So back in 1993, my first son was born, and I was 23 years old. Yep. And I worked for a company called Ernst & Young, little accounting firm. And I said, I need 6 weeks. And they said, that's not in the policy, costs too much. I said, well, all females get it. And they said, well, I'm sorry, we can't do it. By the time he was born, Ernst & Young had implemented a 6-week policy for parental leave for males and females. We talk about that the first 5 years are the most important parts of brain development. And I will tell you that those 6 weeks were irreplaceable for my son and I, that time that we had together. And I'm just a real advocate that as a children's trust, at the very least, if our employees are going through that we not only promote that, we encourage that. Kind of like the vacation, but completely different. First 5 years of life, nothing's more important, male, female, father, dog, father, mother. I just really feel strongly about it. Our clerk brought it up, and when you brought it up, I asked for that direction, and I just don't want that to die. I want us staff to bring back what it costs and then let the board decide if we can afford it, because I think we need to.
I'd like to support that. for the reason that we are a children's trust and we should be modeling.
So I agree completely, and I was fortunate enough that I had kids and we had another income. My job didn't, I work for a local government agency and they didn't provide parental leave. You know, I saved my leave and I had. I guess this is what makes me, as in addition to the tax being taxpayer funded, we serve, and a good number of the people that the families that we serve are low income families. A lot of those families may not work jobs that provide that. And I just think we just have to be really careful in seeing that we're like bloating up an organization's thing and providing excessive benefits to people. I mean, we have a leave and policy and, you know, we can provide supplemental insurance for things of that nature to cover that, because that's what I had. I had a supplemental insurance policy that covered that. And I'm on the fence with the benefits of the government agency because it just kind of gets talked about. Not that I disagree with it. I would have loved to have had it and I would have benefited greatly from it. I'm just very sensitive in this particular climate and how we're operating of us extending benefits to our parents, to our employees, that a good number of the families in our community don't have it. I'm not saying they couldn't have it, but you know, I'm not saying they
I would
couldn't
hope
have
every
it.
company has it. I would
hope
every
to, but
company
that's
must.
just not the.
Madam Chair, board member has her.
Yes, go ahead. Thank you. For the time.
I was just going to echo support in researching this option and think of it as an employee retention tool and an example to set. And if you pursue it, include adoptive parents as well. As
Most parental leave means have a policy do handle adoption. Yeah. Cheryl, you have anything? Since I've got I'm looking at you. Thought I'd ask.
No, I agree that I think we could model what it should look like for other companies. And so I agree with everything said about the importance of those first few weeks and that bonding time. If we have a way to accommodate that, I would support it as well.
I just put some pressure on the organization where I live, but we don't determine our millage. Tell everybody else. So Ms. Chance, if you have any pull up in Tallahassee with the folks up there, the good legislators that set the millage rate for the school district, please have them consider that. Because we're not able to do anything of this nature. We have 4,000 employees. We barely get enough to operate, and you know, honestly, I'm just saying that because the school district could never do it. You can never do it. I mean, not with
I wish I had that pool.
I'm sorry.
I said, I hear you, and I wish I had that pool.
Please try. You might. You know, they listen to certain people. Any yes, Lee. Public input. Calls again, Ashley. Okay. All right. So our staff has been it's kind of been brought back up to just go ahead and look at that and bring that back to us. There was no vote on, well, let's vote. We got to vote on this. Got to vote on the current changes. Yeah. Any other input from the board? No citizen input. All in favor of receiving the revisions that have been brought forth in by Ms. Kiner and Danielle Towery? All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Thank you. Thank you for that. We're back at general public input. General public input. Okay. Board member comments? Board member comments? I'll start with my two colleagues online. Board member comments? Okay, they don't have anything. Nobody here around the table? Lee ready to go. It's already go. We did a survey and everything. All right.
We've done our business.
We've done our business, we said, so I'm thanking for leaving the last meeting in my absence. I appreciate that. All right, there's nothing else. We're adjourned.
Thank you.
Take the camera there.
Yeah.
So Bob, I'll go back.
No.